Are you a backpacker on a tight budget? Want to know the secrets to traveling the world without breaking the bank? From affordable accommodations to cheap eats, we're sharing our top tips and tricks for backpacking on a budget. Whether you're a solo traveler or part of a group, we've got you covered. Get ready to explore the world without emptying your wallet. Budget backpacking has become increasingly popular among travelers in recent years, and for good reason. The thrill of exploring new destinations, immersing yourself in different cultures, and meeting like-minded individuals from all over the world is an experience like no other. And the best part, it doesn't have to break the bank. One of the biggest misconceptions about budget travel is that it's uncomfortable. People often think that you have to sacrifice comfort for affordability. But that's not necessarily true. With a little bit of planning and research, you can find hostels that offer comfortable and clean accommodations at a fraction of the cost of a luxury hotel. Another misconception is that budget travel is limiting. That you'll be stuck eating plain rice and beans for every meal, or that you'll have to sacrifice activities and experiences because of the cost. But the truth is, there are plenty of affordable and delicious food options, and many attractions and experiences that can be had for a low cost or even for free. Many people also think that budget travel is only for young, solo travelers. But that's not the case. People of all ages and backgrounds are embracing the budget backpacking lifestyle. And finally, some people think that budget travel is somehow lesser than luxury travel. That it's not as sophisticated or cultured. But I think that's a misconception as well. Budget travel allows you to connect with locals, learn about their customs and traditions, and experience the authentic essence of a place in a way that luxury travel often can't. When it comes to budget backpacking, it's all about being resourceful and flexible. It's about finding ways to save money without sacrificing the quality of your experience. One of the biggest costs when traveling is accommodation, so finding affordable and comfortable options is key. Consider staying in hostels or guest houses instead of luxury hotels. You can also look into couchsurfing, which allows you to stay with locals for free. When it comes to food, try eating at local markets or street food stalls instead of fancy restaurants. And instead of taking taxis or renting a car, use public transportation or walk whenever possible. In terms of destinations, there are plenty of affordable options out there. Consider visiting countries in Southeast Asia, Central America, or Eastern Europe, which tend to be cheaper than Western Europe or North America. You can also look into traveling during the off-season, when prices tend to be lower. And finally, consider visiting cities instead of popular tourist destinations. Cities often have a more local feel and tend to be more affordable. I'll never forget my own experience of traveling on a budget through Europe after college. I was determined to see as much of the continent as possible without breaking the bank. I stayed in hostels, ate at local cafes, and used public transportation to get from place to place. And you know what? It was some of the most amazing experiences of my life. I met incredible people, tried new foods, and saw sights that I'll never forget. One of the most valuable lessons I learned on that trip was the importance of being flexible. Things don't always go as planned when you're traveling, and you have to be willing to roll with the punches. I also learned that sometimes the best experiences are the ones that aren't planned out. Getting lost in a new city, stumbling upon a hidden gem of a restaurant, or meeting a fellow traveler who becomes a lifelong friend, these are the things that make budget backpacking so special. Budget backpacking is not only possible but highly rewarding. It allows you to connect with locals, experience new cultures, and see the world in a way that's authentic and affordable. So, if you're thinking of taking the leap and trying budget backpacking for yourself, I say go for it. You never know where it might take you. Now, if you have any budget or no budget travel tips or stories of your own, leave them in the comments below. And don't forget to check out my other videos on travel tips and tricks for making the most of your next adventure. Okay, this is a whole new experience and hacks to get you flying. Join me as I take on the challenge of traveling around the world for free. Let's see if I can do it without spending a single penny. Traveling the world without breaking the bank, it sounds like a myth, a dream that's just out of reach. But what if I told you, it's possible, and it's not just for the wealthy or the privileged few. The idea of exploring new countries and experiencing different cultures without spending a fortune is incredibly appealing, and it's something that I think many of us would love to do. When it comes to travel, one of the biggest barriers that people face is the cost. Flights, accommodation, food, and activities can add up quickly, making it seem like a luxury that only a select few can afford. Many of us assume that traveling is expensive, and that you need to have a lot of money to do it. But that's not always the case. For many people, the fear of overspending or going into debt holds them back from taking the leap and booking that trip they've always dreamed of. The cost of travel can be overwhelming, and it's easy to get caught up in thinking that you need to have a lot of money to travel comfortably. But what if you could travel without spending a dime? One of the best ways to travel for free is through volunteering. There are countless organizations around the world that offer free accommodation and food in exchange for your time and skills. You could be working on a conservation project in Africa, teaching English in Asia, or helping out at a hostel in Europe. The opportunities are endless, and it's a great way to give back to the community while also exploring a new place. Another way to travel for free is through house sitting. I know you might have all the money to travel, but please smash that like button, subscribe, and leave a comment as I show you some tips to make dive with a penny. Websites like Trusted House Sitters and House Sitter connect homeowners with travelers who are willing to take care of their homes while they're away. It's a win-win. The homeowner gets someone to look after their property, and you get a free place to stay. And let's not forget about travel rewards points. If you're smart about using your credit cards and signing up for rewards programs, you can earn enough points to book flights, accommodation, and even entire trips for free. Imagine being able to stay in a beautiful house in Tuscany for free or having a private villa in Bali all to yourself. It's not just a fantasy, people are doing it every day. And it's not just limited to houses, you could be taking care of a farm in New Zealand or a yacht in the Caribbean. The options are endless, and it's a great way to experience a new place like a local. You could also use your skills to get free accommodation. If you're a photographer, for example, you could offer to take photos for a hostel in exchange for a free room. Or if you're a writer, you could offer to write blog posts for a travel company in exchange for a free trip. I want to share with you a story about a couple who traveled the world for free for an entire year. They started by volunteering on a farm in Australia, where they stayed for 3 months in exchange for room and board. From there, they house sat in New Zealand, where they took care of a beautiful property in exchange for free accommodation. They then used their travel rewards points to book flights to Europe, where they volunteered at a hostel in exchange for free room and board. And finally, they ended their trip with a free stay at a luxury resort in Thailand, courtesy of a travel blogger who needed someone to review their property. It just goes to show that with a little bit of creativity and resourcefulness, you can travel the world without spending a fortune. So, what's the key takeaway from all of this? It's that travel doesn't have to be expensive, and it's not just for the wealthy or the privileged few. With a little bit of creativity and resourcefulness, you can travel the world for free, and experience all the amazing things that our planet has to offer. If you are still here, thank you. Where do you dream of traveling to, and how do you plan on making it happen? To help you answer these questions, continue watching and do not forget to smash that subscribe button. Now, challenge yourself to experience the real deal in travel, diving deep into local cultures and hidden gems that most tourists miss. When it comes to traveling, I believe that it's all about immersing ourselves in the local culture, meeting new people, and discovering hidden gems that most tourists tend to overlook. It's about experiencing the real deal, not just visiting a bunch of tourist traps that only give us a superficial understanding of the place we're visiting. Have you ever found yourself stuck in a sea of tourists, feeling like you're just another face in the crowd, and not really experiencing the true essence of the place you're visiting? Maybe you're at a popular restaurant, eating overpriced food that's been tailored to cater to the masses, or taking a cookie-cutter tour that doesn't really give you a sense of the local way of life. These kinds of experiences can feel so manufactured, so fake, and they often leave us feeling unfulfilled and disappointed. I've been there myself, and it's a real bummer. We end up feeling like we're just scratching the surface of a place, without really getting to know it on a deeper level. We also have to be honest with ourselves. Many of us travelers are guilty of perpetuating this trend. We're so caught up in taking Instagram-worthy photos, or checking off items on our bucket list, that we forget to truly engage with the places we're visiting. We're more concerned about getting the perfect shot, than actually taking the time to learn about the history and culture of a place. But what if we flip the script? What if we focus on having real, authentic experiences, rather than just checking off items on our to-do list? What if we take the time to meet locals, learn about their customs and traditions, and explore hidden gems that most tourists miss? When we travel like this, we open ourselves up to a whole new world of possibilities. We get to try authentic cuisine, made with love and care by local cooks, rather than settling for overpriced, touristy restaurants. We get to explore hidden neighborhoods, filled with character and charm, rather than sticking to the main tourist drag. We get to meet locals, who can share their stories and perspectives with us, and give us a real insight into the place we're visiting. And we get to experience the thrill of discovery, when we stumble upon a hidden gem that's off the beaten path. One of my favorite travel experiences was when I stumbled upon a tiny, family-owned winery in Tuscany. I was exploring the countryside, getting lost in the winding roads and rolling hills, when I came across this beautiful little vineyard. The owner, Giovanni, welcomed me with open arms, and showed me around his property. He told me about the history of his family's winery, and the secrets behind his award-winning wines. As we sipped on a glass of his finest Chianti, he shared with me the stories of his childhood, growing up on the vineyard, and the struggles he faced as a small business owner. It was a truly authentic experience, one that I'll always cherish. And it's moments like these that remind me why I love traveling in the first place. Real travel experiences, like the ones I had with Giovanni, enrich our lives and broaden our perspectives. They challenge our assumptions and force us to see the world in a new light. And that's what I want to encourage you to do, to take the road less traveled, to seek out authentic experiences, and to immerse yourself in the local culture. So, as we conclude this video, I want to leave you with a sense of inspiration, and a renewed sense of purpose. Remember, the real deal in travel is all about immersing ourselves in the local culture, meeting new people, and discovering hidden gems that most tourists miss. Free 5-star hotel stays with luxury couchsurfing? This is a whole new video, but please allow me to stimulate your appetite. Luxury couchsurfing is all about living a high life, without the hefty price tag. It's about building relationships, networking, and having the right mindset. So, if you're ready to take your travels to the next level, be sure to check out my other videos for more travel tips and hacks. Thanks for joining me on this journey, and I'd love to hear about your own travel experiences in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can stay updated on my next video, where I'll be sharing some of my top tips and hidden destinations for authentic travel.